Hello, everyone. We're just waiting for everyone to join. If you guys can hear me, let me know in the chat. If you guys can hear and see me and see my charts and stuff, let me know down below. JMO, can you just post in Discord, bro?
Yeah, I'll do it now.
Sorry, I forgot to post, so we're going live. And remember the giveaway. So yeah, guys, we're going to be giving away remember the giveaway. 3 Blue Guardian accounts today, $30,000 worth of Blue Guardian accounts today to 3 lucky people. And then we're going to go over the analysis for today. We're going to do our live trading session. Like always, we're just waiting for everyone to join. What's up, Andy? Scripture, what's up? Can everyone hear me? Cool. So yeah, we've had some good trades this week. We have the results. Should be on screen right now. Last few weeks have been really good for us. This month overall been really, really solid. We've got some of the trades listed on here, and I've been documenting them on Instagram as well. So I've taken a bunch of trades on Instagram on my Blue Guardian account. It's been really, really good. So we've had a good series of trades. I'm just waiting for everyone to join real quick. We're starting the stream a little earlier. We usually start like 10 minutes from now. So our normal crowd hasn't joined just yet. If you guys are here, let me know in chat. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to go over the analysis really quickly. What I'm going to do, I'm probably going to go over some of the previous trades we've taken here. You can see these trades were taken this week. So we took trades on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? And then on yesterday, we had a no trade day for NASDAQ. The trade just ran away with us, ran away from us, didn't come back for the retest. This was our trade on Friday. We can go over that really quickly. What's up, Holla? Greg, how's it going, man? Do the results based on 1 pair and 1 to 2? The results are based on London session and New York session. New York session has been really, really good. And so has London, actually, to be honest. We took a loss on London session this morning, though. But that's been the first loss we've had in a little while. Yeah, so begging for accounts isn't going to make it easier for you to win. It's totally random. What's up, Louis? So yeah, we took this trade on Friday. Let's have a look at kind of the analysis behind it. So yeah, we basically had all of the analysis kind of playing into, wait, this was at 10. Let me just get my time zone correct. Because it's on as default on New York. Just trying to see here. I don't think this was a trade that we took on Friday. I don't see any zone on the entry. Yeah, that's why I'm also confused, because this, think it's a mistake here on Friday. The one on Monday, however, different story. Let me just check. So yeah, this was the one we took on Tuesday. So again, very clear zones here on Tuesday. This up here was a bit of a pivot, so taking buys off of it wasn't necessarily the best. But the whole trade idea on Tuesday was simply to fill in the gaps. Oh, you know what was wrong? I was on the wrong time frame. I was on the wrong time frame. How do I get in the draw to win one of the accounts? You just have to be on the stream. You just have to be on the stream. Let me find where we were. So this was the trade on Tuesday. This was the setup on Friday. Just trying to see here. I think the setup on Friday was different to this. I think JMO will confirm with me. I think that is a mistake. But the trade on Tuesday was super straightforward. Again, we've got this, all lining up. And all I did was I dragged the zone to match this, to include this level as well. So we had a super strong zone. The only notable thing with this zone is that I didn't just have it here. I adjusted it to include the wick of this candle here so that we could include these lows. We then had price literally break, close below here, retested on this candle, and straight to 1-to-1. At this point, quite a few people take profits at 1-to-1. We then had to come back. If you went break even at 1-to-1, you would have been break even. If you held, you can see it went all the way to the floor. Hey, Meg's here. Hey, Meg. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be having a proper live trading stream, which means that we're going to be streaming the whole trade session. Okay, so what we've decided to do is once a week, we're going to be having a free live trading stream here on YouTube. Everyone can join. Everyone can see the trades that we take live and take them with us. Our results that we have are all available on our Discord, and we video record every single trade we take. So they're all available for you to see. So you can see the proof of the actual trades being called out and taken. And then, of course, we record the results. So if we go through real quick, let me just check to see if you guys can see my screen on Discord. I'm just waiting to see if it updates. It may not want to update. Yeah, is it just gone blank?
Yeah, your screen's gone blank now.
Didn't want to screen share, that's why. Hang on a second. Doesn't want to screen share. Never mind. I'll just screen share this again. Okay. So yeah, the results are below. You guys can see we had a decent week this week. Up 3R. I'm trying to read the little. And then we've got last week we had plus 8R, which means if you risked $100, you would have made $800. If you risked $1,000, you would have made $8,000, which is really, really nice. So we've had really, really good weeks. And that's all in our live trading streams. So you can get access to that in the description below. if you can't afford to join our live trading group, you don't need to. We also do one live stream on here every week for free, which is what we're doing today. So you guys can see us trade live today, see our thought process. The most important thing, guys, about learning to trade, okay, is hanging around people that are doing it profitably already and learning their thought process. And that's what we do. We put you through the thought process of taking the trades. We give you the methodology of how it works. So in our academy, you get access to over 4 hours of video content showing you exactly how we choose our zones. And then you get access to us doing it live every single day. The newbie asked, so no more pre-open analysis. We're not going to be doing 2 streams every day anymore. So we're not going to be doing free stream every day anymore. And the reason being is we used to just give people our zones every single day and people were just taking them and trading them. If you want to learn to trade it and trade along with us, you have to join the academy. So yeah, we're also going to be doing a free stream every week on a Thursday, not on Fridays. Today's Friday, but we couldn't do it yesterday. But we're still going to be doing a free stream every Thursday for everyone, where you can trade live with us. I also show you guys how to trade the strategy on my YouTube channel. I show you guys how it works. If you want to learn how it works in depth though, you have to join the academy. And if you want to trade live with us and get the zones that we're trading, as well as see our thought process and learn to actually become profitable, because again, I can give you a fish. That's not going to keep you profitable, right? But if I teach you how to fish, that's going to feed you for a lifetime, right? Okay, so let's go over the trade we took on Tuesday. So you can see here, we were looking at it earlier. We had 2 zones that we could potentially look for a breakout on. It was either this up here, okay, or it was this down here. And this is what played out, okay? We had the 50 SMA trending bullish. You can clearly see it trending bullish right here. It's like, you just have to zoom out, okay? You can literally see this, okay? It makes it so easy to see, right? This was our all-time highs as well. So for me, taking a breakout here, this can be a significant area of support and resistance just because it was all-time highs. But the reasoning behind us going short and why it ended up playing out so well is if you look on the 15-minute time frame, we had so much imbalance here. So you look at this here and you look at this candle here. This was going to be like a magnet for price. Price was going to be drawn to this. And you can see that it was getting drawn to it. There were some reactions happening there. Right? So when we had price break out, it came back, brought us in, and we took it down further. Okay, and it actually like changed the trend completely, because you can see that, you know, we started creating lower lows and lower highs on the 50 SMA. So yeah, that's basically what we did on Tuesday. On Wednesday, let me have a look here on the 5-minute time frame. So on Wednesday, we got involved in this trade over here. Okay, we got a full 1-to-2 risk reward on this one. Those of you who take profit at 1-to-1, you would have gotten that as well. If you took a 1-to-1 and then went break even, you would have gotten your 1-to-2 as well. So it was a full 1-to-2 risk reward trade. same concept again, guys. We had this zone down here. We waited for price to break out after market open. It broke and closed below. We retested, okay, the zone. We wicked it, and then we pushed lower. Okay, and we went all the way down to 1 to 2 risk reward. You could have literally held this all the way down to the floor for 1 to 8, but we only go for 1 to 2, right? That's our edge. So that was the trade on Wednesday. And then Thursday yesterday, there was a trade, but it kind of ran without us. And the thing is, when we break out, okay, and price moves too far without us, we don't want to get in when it comes back because the reversal would have already started happening, okay? We want to get in with the momentum of price. If you look at these moves here, you can see there's a huge difference between this, okay? We broke and closed below. The very next candle came back, retested, and pushed lower, okay? We didn't break and close all the way down here. We didn't push all the way down here without retesting. We broke and closed just below, retested, okay? And then pushed down immediately, okay? That's what we want. That's like textbook. With this is not what we want. This is not textbook. When price, okay, down here, after the open, we had price break and close here. Great. It did not retest on the next candle. It pushed even further lower with even more aggressive selling power. Okay. Pushed even lower. It then continued to push lower after that. Okay. Let's see if my actual replay will work. My replay is not working, but it pushed lower, right? Replay is not playing along here. Come on, man. Okay, let me just kill the replay. Sometimes TradingView can be a pain, but you can see here it broke and closed below. We didn't get back on as with momentum, right? We want to break and close below, get in with the momentum and push lower. But what ended up happening was we pushed aggressively already. We went to the floor and we started changing momentum, right? Whatever goes, if we thought of this in a bullish situation, if price pushes all the way up already, okay, to our target without tagging us in, there's a good chance that when it comes back to tag us in, okay, when price comes to tag us in, it's already built up so much momentum to the downside that it's now ready for a reversal. And that's exactly what happened here. Price had already pushed so far to the floor that by the time it came back for a retest here, the direction had already changed and it pushed straight through. And so we don't get in on this because it's catching a falling knife, right? If you've been doing this so long, you should already understand the system, and then you don't need streams to draw your zones. Yeah, look, guys, we've been doing free streams for over a year now. So what we've done is we've given you guys a free course that you guys can access. I've also given you guys videos almost weekly explaining how the strategy works. So you guys can take that system, back engineer it, okay, and use that if you want. But if you want to be spoon-fed and if you want to trade alongside us, okay, we've been doing it for a long time for free where we give you guys our zones for free. But we've realized that it's actually really valuable and people are using it to make a ton of money for free. And it's actually not fair to the people that are paying for the service. So what we've decided is to keep it for the academy, okay, but still give you guys a free stream every week so you guys can ask questions and get support for free. If you indeed can't, afford it, you can ask questions here and engage with us here every single week, right? And we're pretty active in the free Discord as well. But if you want to trade alongside us and take trades with us, then yeah, that's something that takes up a lot of our time and energy, and it is actually really valuable. So we can't make that free any longer. So if you want to join, the link is in the description for you to join. You can trade live with us, and you get access to the full detailed 4-hour plus video content on how the strategy works, how to get funded, how to be consistent, and then how to actually have a strong enough mindset to maintain a profitable strategy long term. Cheers, Holla. We're still gonna have, our live streams and stuff like that every single week. It's just gonna be one, and the one that we have is a full live stream. So we're gonna take trades today live on stream. Okay. I'm gonna analyze the 4-hour and higher time frame structure in just a minute. But yeah, we've literally had people take this system, get funded over $1 million worth of capital, make over $40,000 in a month. We had Jamie who made over $28,000, I think 2 months ago. He made $28,000 in a month, 1 month. So you're able to take this information and do insane stuff with it. And it's a simple system, right? But having the mindset and consistency to stick with it, and also to be able to know the nuances of picking the right zones, how to manage your trades, and then how to consistently get into those trades that are high probability. Grading your trades is really important. So understanding, is this an A+ setup? Is it an A setup? Is it a B setup? Is it C? Should I avoid it completely? Okay. For example, like this setup here. Why did we sit this one out? Well, we explain all of that in our course methodology, and we explain it on stream live in front of you. We hold your hand through the entire process. The reason we sat this out was because it goes against our confluences. Okay. It is catching a falling knife. It has extended far beyond where we are comfortable taking trades. What's up, Liam? Eddie, how's it going? We're going to go over the 4-hour time frame really soon. And then we're going to have a look at the zones we're looking to trade for today. There's no news today, so we are good to go. We've pushed down bearish for a couple of days now. Just want to be mindful of these highs here. So yeah, those of you who want to trade live next to us and get access to the whole course content, you guys can do that with the link in the description below. There's 2 different ways you can do it. You can either join monthly or you can join yearly. If you join yearly, you get access. Firstly, you get a huge discount. You're getting like 40% off, right? Plus, you're getting access on top of that to our inner circle, where we teach you our Asia strategy, which only a few people know. You get access to Asia streams. You get access to the inner circle, which has people that have made over $28,000 and $40,000 and over $10,000 in 1 month. There are multiple students in there that have made over 5 figures, some over 6 figures, right? So then you get access to that as well. And then you get a call with us where we sit down and we sit down with you for half an hour. We figure out where you're going wrong with your trading, and we give you a plan going forward so that you can use the content and our streams the best way possible. And that's 40%. You're still paying 40% less than you would for the monthly plan, right? So those are the two options you have. Is the 800 a year replacing the 1-to-1? Yeah, there is no more 1-to-1, Matthias. There's no more one-on-one mentorship. The closest you're going to get to one-to-one mentorship is the yearly package. You get a half an hour call with either myself or JMO, and that's it. That's the closest you're going to get to one-to-one. So those of you who are in our inner circle and you're part of our one-on-one mentorship, you guys, you'll be the last ones to get that. Daniel, you get the call as an onboarding call so that we can basically set you up and make sure that you've got a plan. So that you've got a plan on how you want to go forward. So we assess where you're going wrong when you're trading, whether that be psychologically, whether that be technical. So you can have that call at any point in time. So basically, if you hop on, go through the course content, right? You can then have that onboarding call after that so that you can clarify any of the issues that, for example, you have with the methodology. You can also come on and tell us about the issues that you've had so far trading. And we've gone through all of the issues, okay? I've gone through the psychological issues of greed, fear, FOMO. All of those issues can be rectified with certain strategies, okay? And if you stick to the plan that we give you, you can be super successful. If it's technical, that's quite easy to fix, and we can create a plan for that as well. And it can be both. Can we do the zones? I'm starting to get nervous. There's no need to be nervous, bro. There's always time, right? There's always time. We're not anywhere near any of the breakout zones, so there's no real rush. We never want to rush when it comes to trading, especially when you're scalping, because that's when you take stupid trades, right? If we look on the 4-hour, we're bullish, obviously, on the 4-hour. Let's have a look and see if we've got some notable zones to worry about. We've got this where we've had a pivot, okay? Price has pivoted from this area. So I'm going to be mindful of this low right here. Okay. And you can see it does kind of confluence with this here. But I'm going to be mindful of this low. I could drag it all the way down to these lows down here. But just for the sake of being neat, I'm going to keep that there. We've then also got this here, okay? We've had price react to it multiple times, so I would want to be mindful of this. But ultimately, the highs is where price could come to. Understanding that we've pushed up, retraced, had a push up, we've retraced, and we're still respecting this low. So I'm expecting price to respect this low and stay within this range and ultimately push up and take the highs. We've now retraced to past 50% of this range. And that's not that we trade Fibonacci's, but if you look at ranges in general, price is going to retrace to just beyond 50% of the range and then push up. That's generally what price is going to do, right? So that's the 4-hour analysis. Again, all of the other stuff I just said is speculation. The only things that really pertain to our strategy are these two zones, and we're in the middle of them. So let's go down to the 5-minute and have a look. So on the 5-minute, let's have a look. We've got basically these lows down here, right? I'm going to include this wick down here. We've got these lows we can take trades from. And then we've got this here, which is more of a pivot. It's actually not because we've had a reaction here. So this would be the high that we would be looking at. I'm going to make these a different color like usual. Okay. So these are basically the different zones. I would prefer sells in this scenario, and I wonder if anybody can tell me why I might prefer sells in this scenario. Let me know in the chat below if you guys know, if you guys can see from this analysis why I might prefer sells. My problem is remembering the information due to COVID and chemo. Yeah, sometimes circumstances can be tricky. I'm sorry to hear about your problem, about your issues. That doesn't sound like fun. So yeah, we are in a downtrend, right? We're in a short-term downtrend. The market's just done a huge reaction here. But we are bearish, right? You can see here on the 5-minute. Again, this is why I love the 50 SMA. You can clearly see structure, right? You can clearly see structure. You can clearly see it's making lower lows and lower highs. Okay. The 50 SMA has been trending bearish for quite some time. The other reason, there's another reason, and it's actually more important than that. What's the other reason that I would prefer sells to buys right here? Maxi got it below the 50 SMA, and there's more room for take profit, okay, for sells. So if you look here on the buys, we would only have realistically like 30 points here on the buys, okay? On the sells, we've got like 120, okay? So yeah, the sells look better. The other thing as well to notice is there are some big inefficiencies here, okay? And price likes to fill them, right? Price also likes to take out lows that are significant like this. You can see how aggressive this move is. These lows, and especially this low here, is likely to get hit, okay? So if I hop into a buy here, there is still enough space, okay? There is still enough space for me to go one-to-one, okay? There is still enough space for me to go one-to-one, but it's not as highly probable as a sell. So I would probably, in terms of going for buys, I would probably get in with lower risk, okay? Whether that be half or even a quarter risk. Why? The higher time frame structure is not in our favor, okay? The 50 SMA, short term is flat, okay? It's undecided short term, but if we zoom out, you can see 50 SMA is bearish. So that's against us as well, okay? However, it is a valid setup if we break and close above this zone, okay? That's cool. And we do have enough space to get to the next zone. What we're then looking for is price breaking and being overextended? Okay, so is price overextended when we break? So how does the break happen? Then how does price behave when it starts to return to the zone, right? We're not bearish on the higher time frame at all. On 5-minute time frame, we are bearish though. So yeah, we'll see which one of these breaks out. First, price must break and close, guys. You need the ultimate confirmation of a trade being valid is, and the most basic confirmation is price breaking and closing. If it does not close, there's no trade, guys. You cannot get into a trade early. You cannot you cannot jump the gun. You cannot jump the gun, guys. If you get in before prices closed, you have such a high chance of just being wicked out and faked out. Someone in the chat said 4 hours bearish. Bro, 4 hour. Look at this and tell me 4 hours bearish. This is why we use the 50 SMA, okay? 50 SMA, put the length to 50, okay? Look at this. You just take one look at this. You can't tell me that this is bearish, okay? 5 minute time frame. Look at this. You can't tell me that this is bullish, okay? If you look at today, so today started here. Tell me what today. Well, today is kind of undecided. It's up and down. It's up and down. It's flat. But this week, on the 5 minute time frame, it's simple. It's that simple, guys. 50 SMA it just makes your life so simple. It's unbelievable. Okay. But it's only one of the 5 confluences we look at. Yeah, so Greg, generally we're not here for a long time, so we will probably after an hour and a half after open stop looking for trades. Generally, sometimes we'll sit for around 2 hours max, but a lot of the time we're done in like half an hour, like 45 minutes. Then it's real awkward because it's like, what now? And you know, the most important thing to remember though is that taking one trade a day is actually one of the most productive changes to your trading that you can make. Taking one trade a day can be the difference between you being a revenge trader, between you gambling, and overall just making really bad decisions in your trading. Because the first trade generally is with the plan. And if your plan doesn't work out that day, doesn't mean that your plan doesn't work out over months or over the year, right? This strategy does not have a 100% win rate. It doesn't even have an 80% win rate, okay? You're lucky if you get a 70% win rate with this strategy. We're aiming for between 60 and 70% win rate with this strategy, okay? So you have to understand that you can lose. You can lose, and you can lose multiple times. That doesn't mean that your strategy is not working. So the reason we take one trade a day is because the one trade you take in that day is when you are level-headed. You've thought about it, you've planned it, hopefully. You're on stream with us and you've seen how we've executed it. You know the logic behind the reason we're taking that trade. The second trade, there's a lot more at stake because maybe you've just lost that previous trade. Your plan goes out the window. Tell me this is not something you guys haven't experienced before. The second trade now, the plan goes out the window. You're just trying to make up for the first trade. Okay? Other side of the coin, you win the first trade, and the second trade, you're like, oh, I'm going to go double or nothing. I'm going to make even more. I'm going to risk what I just won, okay? And you get greedy. So it's either you get fearful, revengeful, or you get greedy on the second trade. That's why we take one trade a day. It gets rid of the fear of missing out. It gets rid of revenge trading, and it gets rid of greed, okay? How big of a stop loss today? So today, let's size it up, guys. So if we're taking buys, which again, I would do with lower risk because we've got less room and short-term price is bearish. Yeah, I would go 25 today. And And on sells, similarly, I think it would also be 25. Phew. I would actually maybe go 30, to be honest with you. Yeah. So on the sells, I would go 30. On buys, I think we can get away with 20. Because I would want to get to break even quickly on the buys. Because again, we're trying to get in before the top of this zone. Right? I see BG has red folder news at 4. I don't see anything here. Usually there would be a little icon here at the bottom telling me. Yeah, sells are a really good setup. So yeah, I would full risk sells. Buys, I would be cautious, okay? Especially if you're on a funded, if your account is funded, if you're in evaluation stages, I tend to be a bit more risky. But guys, one trade a day, okay? One trade a day. If you take one trade a day, it mitigates all those problems. And understand that you can trade London session. You can trade New York session. You can trade Asia session, all with this strategy, okay? Right? You can trade all of those sessions with this strategy. Don't. Choose one and take one trade. That will make you profitable. It gets rid of so many issues. It gets rid of so many issues. And the main issues are psychological. And like I said, fear of missing out, greed, and revenge trading, all fixed if you just take one trade a day. What pair for Asia session? Asked Avery. Only the people in the inner circle know about the pair that we trade for Asia session. Asia session is a secret for now. The inner circle has access to our Asia session methodologies. And we live stream our Asia session trades in the inner circle. To access that, you have to go for the yearly package. And then you guys can access that. If you go for the yearly package, yearly Academy package, you also get 40% off. So you get 40% off, you get access to the Asia session, and you get access to a call with me and JMO to go over your strategy, go over any issues you have, and create a plan for you so that you can get profitable. But yeah, you do not want to be trading all of those sessions. You can eventually get to the point where you can take 2 trades in a day, but it's for me, I do it maybe once every 2 months where I take a second trade in a day, and it has to be a really highly probable trade. There also generally is a big gap between those trades because you need to let your emotions calm down, right? You need to let your emotions calm down, and that's why we take one trade a day. The next trade that you take tomorrow isn't as affected when there's 24 hours in between those trades. It's mind-blowing what a difference that can make. Like, seriously. It's huge. But people want to rush and they think more trades equal more money. And it's not true. And some weeks the strategy is slow. Some weeks price is ranging and you want to take more trades. Maybe you want to jump to a different pair to look for different trades. You have to resist that. Pick one pair and only one trade a day. If there's no trade that day, You need to just pack up and go home. You have to. So right now, price is ranging. We don't know where it's going to go. Honestly, it's looking more like it's going to break out to the upside. But if price decides it's going to the upside and we have it push super aggressively and start to react here, there's a chance it's just going to reverse and push straight through our stop loss. So that's what makes these buys less probable for me. Okay. We've got highs and we've got this 4-hour zone. If you look on the 4-hour, we've literally had price reverse here on the 4-hour multiple times. Okay. So it's tricky. It's a really tricky area to trade. That's essentially how much room we have to trade. If I just adjust that slightly. So yeah, there's not a lot of volatility here. So we're just waiting and seeing what will happen. Maybe that 4 o'clock candle is gonna give us something. Who knows? Maybe that's what we're waiting for. Again, like we can speculate all we want, and even our higher time frame analysis, the only real thing we look at are these zones. But at the end of the day, like we're just reacting to what happens. So guys, when price gets to this level, what exactly am I going to be looking for? When price gets to here, in this blue area here, what am I going to be looking for price to do when price gets to this area? Okay. What am I going to be looking for? Let me know in the chat. Ricky got it straight away. We're looking for the candle close. Okay. That is the most important confluence, the most important confirmation in our strategy. Okay. That's number one. We're looking for a candle body close. The candle body close needs to happen within this blue range here. It needs to happen within this blue range here. Okay. Because if we break beyond this, we're going to be needing to look at different zones, and they're going to be even less probable. Okay. The other thing as well is if price breaks and closes, right? For example, let's say this is a candle here. Okay. We break and close like this. Okay. We then have another candle and we don't retest. Okay. Why is it not? Anyway, we have another candle and that candle pushes up and we don't retest. It's going to start to react at this zone. Okay. And after it reacts at the zone, there is a very big likelihood that it's just going to reverse off of that zone. And so we want it to break and close, preferably have like a nice shallow close like this so that we can catch it with momentum going up. We don't want it to push straight through and then as it comes back down, start to reverse, because then it picks up momentum to the downside and it makes it very hard for us to catch it here and get the bounce. It's less likely for it to bounce. Chris Bester asks, is it a 1 minute or a 5 minute close? Our strategy is always a 5 minute candle body closure. We only look at the 5 minute essentially. You can look at the 1 minute to see rejections and stuff like that, but we are generally looking at the 5 minute. We want to see a 5 minute candle body closure above or below our zone. That's the first confirmation that trade is valid. The next confirmation is the retest, okay? And we want the retest to retest so that we can have a continuation, okay? We don't want to be catching a reversal, which would be if price pushed all the way up to this zone or pushed all the way to our take profit and then pushed down. It's more likely that that is a reversal pattern and we're going to get stopped out, because we cannot expect a bounce when there is so much momentum to the downside being built. We want it to break with momentum and catch the momentum on the move up. When we get in and price is already up here, well, the move's already happened. The momentum's died down and it's now changed direction, right? And if price passed the 4 hour zone, can we take a trade on that zone? So if we looked at a secondary zone that we could trade, it's not very clear. It's not very clean, right? The next zone would probably be here, but it's a very old zone, right? It's a really old zone. So that would be where I would be looking for potentially another trade. However, okay, if there's a lot of volatility, right, and we have a candle push like this, keep having to do this, but if we have price push with a candle like this and it breaks above the zone, okay, and we try and get in up here, can anybody tell me what the problem with that is? Can anybody in the chat tell me why that would be a really awful trade to get hold of, to get involved with, and why that's a really bad sign if we get involved in a trade like that? Meg says overextended. Kind of, yes. Ricky also says overextended. Liban says extended. Could easily reverse. Alex thought it was a real candle. Okay, so yes. Overextended and too far from the SMA. Okay. More specifically though, when a candle does this, and we've got quite a lot of momentum, okay? What tends to happen is there tends to be an imbalance, and there tends to be a whole bunch of rebalancing that the market needs to do below, okay? So the chances of having a reversal here so that price can fill this is highly likely. The other issue is what you guys were saying, is that it is overextended. It is really far from this 50 SMA, and the 50 SMA works kind of like an elastic band. The further we get away from this 50 SMA, the more aggressively price rejects and returns back to it. The further we push away, it snaps back, okay? So there's literally 3 different reasons there why that is a terrible trade to take. There are some exceptions if it's not an extreme case. So if there is some imbalance below, you can still take it with lower risk if the other confluences are in your favor. In this case, though, our immediate trend is bearish. Okay, so bullish trades are already not high probability. That's number one. And the other problem is that the room that we have to play with in this particular area is not much. So the probability of getting a 1-to-2 trade here is low. We can at least get a 1-to-1, which is why I would say this is a trade worth taking, but on much lower risk. Remember, guys, remember me saying this. This is a much lower probability trade because we are bearish on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, number one. Number two, okay, we don't have a lot of space. The other thing as well is if we break up here, we are actually still pretty overextended. Okay, we're still going to be really far from this SMA if we aggressively break above here, but that's to be seen. Okay, and if we have a situation where we break, okay, we break and we do not retest the zone and continue, but we break and continue and react to this, then come back down, that's I'm staying out. Like, I'm not getting into that trade at all, with low risk or otherwise, because this means that we've had the reaction and we're now more than likely going to push down further, right? This is a significant zone, guys. This is a really significant zone. If you look on the 4-hour time frame, it's a really significant zone where we've had price react literally for multiple weeks. We've had price react here, react here, and react here. Okay. So yeah, it's a significant zone. And they've reacted significantly. Isn't it better to leave it then? It will be better to leave it if that scenario happens. So if price pushes above, reacts here, and then pushes down to come and retest, I'm going to leave it alone. If price, however, just breaks, shallow break, retests here, we can quite easily still catch it up to this 1-to-1 mark and then still potentially get a 1-to-2 out of it. But it's lower probability, so I will get in with much lower risk. Has news already come out? I don't know. Apparently there's news at 4 o'clock, but I don't see any red folder news anywhere. So okay, it's 4 now. I'm not seeing, I mean, there's some movement, but we're not seeing huge candles. There was really very low volatility before now. So, you know, maybe we do have a nice move now. If you look on the 30-second time frame, you can see we've been literally ranging like crazy, like yeah, insanely. We haven't had any big moves since the open, pretty much. We haven't had any moves, any nice moves. Looks like we're getting some momentum now, but it's not huge. So Jared asked, do you sometimes wait for a deeper retest if there is a FVG? So if price is imbalanced and there is a gap below, depending on how big that gap is, and depending on how much momentum price retests with, we may wait for a rejection before getting in. But to be honest with you, that setup doesn't happen super often. So for example, if there is a gap below our entry here, but price pushes up, it overextends a little bit, but we see that price is coming back in with one candle quite aggressively to our entry. I'm more likely to wait for price to come, push a little bit lower, and then start to reject. And then I will get in as it rejects, right? But that doesn't happen super often. Most of the time, I'm getting in pretty much right at this level when price retests. In this case here, like I said, if price touches this and starts reacting and pushes down to retest, I'm not taking any trades. If we break and close, do a shallow break and closure like this with a nice momentum, we can get in here on the momentum, okay? We can get in here on the momentum and then ride that momentum up and hopefully get a 1-to-1 and then potentially 1-to-2. What's going on, Elaine? So yeah, we're waiting to see what price is going to do here. We've had very little volume in the market, like very little. The last time we had decent volume was at 2:30. You can see these candles here. Since then, we've been messing around, right? Even today, earlier throughout the day, volume has been low. So we'll see what happens. Market's only been open for half an hour. So yeah, currently we're above the 50 SMA. So that leads me to believe we could still have, like a bounce here and push higher. Again, anything could happen at this point. We're still within the range. If we look at the 15-minute, we've had the first 15-minute candle open, which those of you who trade the 15-minute orb, right, you'll know that this is the area. So what's happening right now and what often happens is that these areas get manipulated, right? So we'll see what happens at this area as well. I've started recently noting these areas because I find that they get manipulated. The problem with the 15-minute orb strategy is that when you've got such a well-known level in the market that is traded so commonly, that area often gets manipulated. So with this 15-minute opening range, what you'll find is that the real breakouts only happen at the zones that we choose, right? Which generally don't line up with these 15-minute opening ranges. You'll see like we're only looking to get into trades down here and up here. Whereas some people have already tried to go long here and they're busy getting wrecked. So you can see the highs have already been taken out here above this 15-minute opening range. And now it's pushed lower and taken out stop losses. So we might see the same happen on this lower part as well, come back, push back in, and then, drive lower after that. Yeah, Meg, the New York Open will change with daylight savings. Just need to remember, because knowing me, I'll forget. Did that not change? I think it's in October. I'm not sure. Chris will know. November the 5th. Okay. So we still got time. Jameis is November 2nd. Okay. Whatever. We'll keep an eye on it. Daylight saving is November 2nd. Okay. Cool. Okay, we're pushing down pretty aggressively here after we've taken these 15-minute highs. So let's see if we can break and close below. Again, this was the setup that I was hoping for, is this break and closure below here. So we'll see if that ends up playing out. Yeah, so again, guys, what we're looking for is price to break and close below. That would be great. That's our higher probability setup. Okay. We're waiting for price to break and close below, retest. That's our second confirmation. But there's a lot of confluences behind this trade. Okay. And some of these confluences only show after the trade presents itself. So it depends how price breaks out and how price retests. Ethan, what are we seeing on your screen now? Because price moved quite rapidly down and yours is not moving. Mine's moving. I don't know. Yeah, price is moving on my screen. If I look on my broker, it's moving the same way on my broker. Exactly the same. Was it with the 30 pip stop loss for sell? Yeah, 30-point stop loss for sells. It's generally the max that we use. Yeah, the delay on YouTube will be like 2 or 3 seconds. So yeah. Matt's asking, saying, my coffee is speaking now, but technically if the win rate would be around 50%, going 1 to 2, we would then do the opposite and also be profitable. No, because 1 to 2 at 50% win rate is still really profitable. 50% at 1 to 1 is like break even though. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. Ricardo says, are we risking 1% or half? We risk, with this particular setup, I'm using regular risk, right? So that depends what your regular risk is. Depends on your evaluation. We cover the risk in our course as well and how to go about risk, but generally you want to be splitting up your risk differently depending on if you're going for a futures evaluation or if you're going for a CFD evaluation, or if you're using a personal account, it needs to be totally different for all three of those. So I can't tell you what percentage, but if you figured out what you're comfortable risking per trade, the normal amount for this trade, the full normal amount is good. Whereas with a trade like this, I would be going with less than half of that. So yeah, guys, just to be clear, the schedule for this week, we're having our full live trading session today, free on YouTube, and going on from Monday onwards, all of our streams, all of our live trading streams are going to be in our Loot Academy only, okay? You guys are going to be able to trade live with us. If you join the Loot Academy, you'll also get access to over 4 hours worth of content on the strategy, okay? And if you join the yearly plan, you get access to the same stuff, but you also get access to our inner circle, which gives you the Asia session strategy. It also gives you weekly coaching calls, okay? As well as it gives you a 30-minute call with myself or JMO to get you started and to create a plan specifically for you so that you can get profitable, okay? That's if you sign up for yearly, and it costs 40% less if you go for yearly. So you're paying less and you're getting more. Like, in my opinion, that's the best way to go. Obviously, not everyone can afford to do a year up front. So that's why we have the monthly as well. And if you can't afford to join the academy, we still have Thursdays every week where we're going to trade live with you guys every week. And then I'm still going to be putting out regular videos explaining how the strategy works. Okay. You just have to put in the extra work. So we're waiting now for price to break and close below. Can anybody tell me the reasons why this trade over here is a high probability trade? What are the confluences that I looked at to determine that this trade is a high? I've gone through it already, but what makes this trade a higher probability trade than this trade here? Chinamobi, the Asia strategy session is exclusive to the inner circle. So you have to join on yearly to get access to the Asia session strategy. So Gavin says it's below the SMA. That's one small thing. Breaking a support level. Not really. Below the 50, there's FVGs below that need to be covered. Hector nailed one of the big reasons. So one of the big reasons is there are gaps here that are going to need to be mitigated. Okay, that's one big thing. Freighter says bearish on the higher time frame. Okay, so it's not bearish on the higher time frame. It's bearish in the medium term. Okay, on the 5 minute. Okay, on higher time frame on the 4 hours, it's actually bullish. But for the last couple of days, okay, it has been bearish, right? So we are bearish, and you can literally just see that from the 50 SMA, like very, very clearly, okay? And then, like I said, on this white line, that was news, but you can see today we're kind of undecided for the day. But if we look at this week, we've been trending bearish, okay? So that's a big part of why I like the sells. The other reason I like the sells is because of these 50 SMAs here, okay? Which means that they are likely to get filled, okay? Price is going to be the price is going to be drawn to them. The other thing that price is drawn to are these lows down here, okay? These lows where price has aggressively reacted from is where a lot of people have their stop losses, okay? So price is also going to be drawn to those lows as well, right? So there's more reason for price to go lower for me. This trade here, there's almost no room for it to play out, okay? Number one. And number two, we're bearish, okay? This week we are bearish. So for me, this is a lower probability trade. If we had more room, it may be a different story. Greg says, do you always go BE after 1-to-1? Yes, Greg. We always go BE after 1-to-1. And I personally take profit at 1-to-1 on a lot of my accounts. So I manage my accounts differently. I have multiple accounts, and we teach this in our course content. But you need to diversify your accounts, firstly. Have accounts trading different trades, okay? And I go 1-to-1, break even on half of my accounts. Well, I go break even at 1-to-1 on all my accounts, but on some of my accounts, I take full profit at 1-to-1, okay? And that's generally on my funded accounts. On the evaluation accounts, I'm looking for those 1-to-2 risk-reward trades so that I can pass quicker. But the win rate tends to be lower at 1-to-2. But overall, 1-to-2 gives you a better return overall. And that's according to the data that we've collected over the years. How do you feel about the big FVG that's just formed above the last 3 candles? So it's quite far away, okay? That will need to get filled and could get filled, right? But at least it's not directly above. Okay, so that's what kind of gives me some, like, I feel a little bit better about it. If you go onto the 1 minute time frame, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's at least some structure here, right? That kind of like buffers us in a way. What's the win rate at 1-to-1? I think JMO can tell you. But yeah, I think it's between 60 and I think it's about 65 around there over the year.
For 1-to-1 over the last year and a half that I've journaled all my trades, it maintained a 72 to 75. That is the average.
Okay. There you go. That's 1-to-1. 1-to-2 will be less. Again, as long as we have, I think 1-to-2 is probably around 60. But as long as it's above 50, we're happy. I'm not sure if it's NY and London. I think that's both. I'm not sure, JMO.
No, that's just for
New York.
New York, yeah.
Yeah, that's just on New York. Let's see if we break and close below here, guys. Did kind of bounce in and around that level, which is nice because that kind of shows that that level, there's a sensitivity there. So if we can have a nice break and closure below, hopefully it melts nicely. Chris says she's going to be bipolar today. I don't know, dude. For me, I'm hoping it goes well. I think if we break and close below and it can be one of those nice continuations, it could go really, really well. Matthias likes them bipolar. Okay, bro. Okay, so we've still got like 2.5 minutes left. We'll see if we can push and close below. Again, I'm including the reason this zone isn't for this. I'm literally just including these wicks here. Just get it precise. Ricardo, yeah, bro, full port on this trade for sure.